Hey guys, this is Sidewinder for Community Starcraft 2 back with another tutorial. This one's going to be... Whoa, this is weird. I can't click on this Templar for some reason. Anyway, this is going to be about these floaty, ghosting little weird guys. They are High Templar. We're going to show them how to use... We're going to show you how to use them in Protoss versus Terran, especially against ghosts. So I've been reading a lot lately on the forums that EMP is just too good and there's no way to deal with it. And the real way to deal with it is to be just better than him with your Templar control versus his ghosts. And not just walk them all in and attack move your army into a whole bunch of EMPs, because that's a really good way to die. So if that's what you do and you die, you should not be complaining, because there are other ways around it. And this is what this video is going to show you. Those little shields look really cool on those Marines. So we're going to watch Huck versus Select. Let me get the name panel up. Select is obviously the Terran player, and Huck is the North American hero Protoss. This observer right here is actually a really big part of this tutorial, and I'll explain why. So if you're Huck, this is what you see. You see your Stalker over here looking around, whatever. You see your Zealot holding the middle of the map. More importantly, he sees this observer, and Select's not going to know that observer is there unless he has detection out. But if he's running ghosts along with his bio, he's not going to have money for a Raven, or rather more specifically the gas. And if it's just sitting there, this is Select's vision. That's going to be like impossible to spot. I'll even just go around, and I'm sure it's, unless you're looking right at it, which it's right there, you're not going to be able to see that when you're flying around all over the screen. So that's going to be a huge part of this. Spotting is a big part of trying to win the Templar versus Ghost battle, and I'll show you how Huck does it. So we're going to see Huck advancing up here, and again, Huck would just die if he decided to just go attack, move everything, and the Ghost would just EMP everything, to EMP all this Templar, and you can't win this fight if you don't have Templar up. But what you want to do first off, since Huck has vision here, this is what he sees, you want to hit storms in front of them. So if they want to actually attack you when you're not ready to be attacked, you don't want your Templar to be in front. If you're not, if they're just going to run in there, your Templar do not want to be in front. They want to be in back. So if you have a situation where Templar are in the front, which is actually what you want to do if you're trying to weed out ghosts, just throw down defensive storms. So if they try to walk through it, they're taking tons of damage, and you'll just win the fight because they're so weak. So Huck throws down some defensive storms. He feedbacks a medevac, which is really nice stuff. And now we're going to get into the Ghost versus Templar stuff. You can see the Templar, he's just splitting one away from his army. And this one, if it gets EMP'd or sniped, oh well. He has a whole bunch more in here, and the point of it is to get in here, land storms if you can, try to deplete these medevacs' energy, or even feedback the medevacs, or try to feedback especially the Ghosts so they cannot land EMPs. So we're going to see the Templar moving up here, and as we can see, Select does have a couple of Ghosts that are EMP ready, so it's not as if Huck is just catching Select at a bad time. So the Templars are now pressing up here. He has spotting because of this observer, so he knows exactly where the Ghosts are, and Select's going to try and stim a bunch of units to kill this High Templar right here. So he's just going to lay down another defensive storm, blam, right there. If he decides to run through any of this, he's just going to take free damage. Again, none of your units have taken any damage so far. So if you can use energy for damage on these units, that's huge. And if you can feedback Ghosts, which he's able to right here, because Select just simply did not have his Ghost ready to roll, which is very normal. You can't be perfect in every situation. But up come the Zealots and Templars. Select misses an EMP right here, which is what you're going to want to do. You want to kind of dance your army back and forth and get them to try and whiff on EMPs. But here come more Ghosts. Huck can see all this once again. He can see the Ghosts pressing up here. So if he just turned one Templar around, he could probably land a couple of feedbacks on these Ghosts before they had a chance to get any EMPs off. So more battles are going to come up here. Huck should pull one more of his Templar and come up here and try to feedback something. Select is trying to do the same thing with his Ghost, but Huck can actually land a feedback on that before the Ghost can if he reacts well enough. So Huck does feedback that one Ghost. Select is pressing up here again with his Ghost separated from the rest of his army. He does land an EMP, but he doesn't hit the Templar because Huck keeps dancing his units back and forth. All these Templars still have really nice energy counts. Going back up here, another defensive storm because his Templars are in front. His army is not in front. You don't want to land defensive storms if your army is, or rather if your Templars are in the back. There's no real reason to do that. he keeps landing defensive storms, so if they want to keep attacking, they can go ahead, but they're just going to get damaged if they try to run up there. So more storms are going down. Huck is actually really whittling down this army, as we can see. And then by the time, you can see his army has taken almost no damage. There are some zealots that don't have any shields, but it's not that big of a deal. But look how weak Select's army is right now. So Select tries to engage. Huck could probably just attack move and roll that over. So we'll see exactly what does happen. These Marauders press up here again. Another defensive storm because Huck is not totally ready to engage yet. And look how low all these units are. Now this is the point where you can start morphing these into Archons and possibly split off another Templar or two to try and feed back these Ghosts. But you're now so far ahead in the damage battle that it doesn't even matter if he has Ghosts. You can do whatever you need to try to pick these off. If you have Blink Stalkers, you can just blink them forward by themselves and try to focus the Ghost down. There's a lot of different stuff that you can do to prevent yourself from being EMP'd. If you just waltz all your stuff in and just attack move it, and they EMP you, and you made no effort to try and whittle down his army, make it weaker, or pick off Ghosts, that's your own fault, and you deserve to lose. So, after watching this video, I don't want to see anybody complaining that High Templars are not as good as Ghosts, because if you know how to control your army, you can win these fights convincingly. If you can't win this fight when there's this many weakened units, there's only like 2 Ghosts that are EMP ready. If you just attack move your stuff in there and you cannot win that, you're already too far behind in the first place to win. You don't really deserve to anyway. So yeah, that should settle the whole High Templar versus Ghost debate after all. Obviously Ghosts will still sometimes win those engagements, but you need to be careful with your army and not just walk in there and die. So use your Templar, lead with 1 or 2 of them, make sure you have an observer out so you can see their army, lead with a couple of Templar, try to land storms, try to land feedbacks. If you can spend the Templar's energy on anything instead of just losing it for nothing, then you're doing very well with your Templar and you're getting the use out of them that you need. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. I'll obviously and always be back with more stuff, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching and get out there and use your Templar.